Good afternoon to all of us. So this week, talagang busy ako since Thursday. Pero by the grace of God, I still managed to do this. Despite the title na nalagay ko dyan, it's not very heavy. Nothing heavy, no heavy topics, but just positivity through the grace of God. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng scenario, and just raise your hand if you agree with the certain statement at the end of the scenario. So let's imagine you went sailing, and it's a good day, the winds are good, and the weather is good. Pero suddenly, a whale just comes up from nowhere and wrecks your boat. And you try to salvage everything you can, and you go to your raft. Tapos, nung umalis na yung whale, you realize that you're stranded and you see nothing but just acres and acres of water. So, paano ka mag-react dito sa situation na to? Raise your hand if you agree. A, you take a mirror or some flares and try to put some signals to get rescued. Sinong nag-agree ka? Try to get yourself rescued. A. No one. B. You break down and you cry. Saan gagawa na? Wala. Okay. So, C. You pray to God. Sinong mag-agree na? Okay. So, it's really obvious na yun talaga yung option. Nikki. Next slide. So, lost at sea. In these extremely difficult conditions, how do we find the strength to be resilient? How do we keep our spirits high and hope in Christ alive? It's never easy to actually get past the situations which is really unexpected and will leave you in despair. So we really need to trust in God and to communicate with Him and to pray to Him. Kaya, we have our own versions of these wreckages in our lives. But fortunately, we have God to help us go through it. So, the first thing that we must do in a life situation that we experience this kind of wreckages is number one. We need to pray to God and tell Him our situation and our needs. In Zephaniah 3 verse 17 it reads, "The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by His love. He will exalt over you with loud singing." We have the helpline, so we just need to call Jesus. And despite dun sa situation kanina, we don't have any form of navigation. Pero through Jesus Christ, wherever we are in the world, we have a compass, and it is Him, Jesus. God is omniscient, He's omnipotent, He's omnipresent. And even though He knows everything about us, He knows our future, our past, our present, we need to communicate with Him and tell Him that we need Him in our lives, that we cannot survive without Him. And He will hear our cries because He loves us, because He cares for us, and because He died for us. And for sure, God will guide us through our problems, and He will provide all the paths in any crazy things that are happening in your life. He will never leave us nor forsake us, and He will see us through all our tough times. Number 2 is keep God's promises in our hearts. Isaiah 41 verse 10. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not anxiously look about you, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Surely I will help you. Surely I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Matthew 11 verse 28 to 30. "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Knowing God's promises helps us to fight the battle against the enemy. It helps us to find our way through, and it gives us an assurance that God is always by our side. These are only two of the many promises in the Bible, and we need to meditate it daily. These verses and promises of God are like the fuel that runs a well-powered vessel. When we remember these promises, our worries are taken away. Our God is greater than any storm that comes our way. Jesus gives us peace and happiness that is so valuable and can only be found in Him. It's like a pearl that is in an oyster at the bottom of the seabed. So, part 2 of number 2. Trust in God. Jeremiah 17, verse 7 to 8. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord and whose trust is in the Lord. Trusting in God requires us to know Him in an intimate way. Trusting in Him means knowing how much He loves us. We need to have a relationship with God to be able to trust Him. We need to listen to God's voice. It's like Peter being guided by Jesus when he was walking on water, and he saw the huge waves that came upon him, and he was distracted for that moment. So we need to always be attentive to God's voice and follow His will for us in our lives. And then we tend to be able to walk on water. Thank you. Number 3, spread the light to others. Matthew 5, verse 13 to 16. You are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Through these tough times that we are experiencing, we should encourage our fellow brothers and sisters, especially if they are also in need. We need to pray for them too, and care for them just as Jesus cares for us. We need to offer them positive words and smiles so that they too will be encouraged that there is hope in Christ. When we spread the light that Jesus gives, we will become like a shaving mirror, which is able to reflect light even beyond the horizon. As we pull through the riptide, God would have used us as channels of blessings to other people, and He would have used us to help rescue others too. We need to have a passion for people who desperately need the salvation of Christ and who needs to know about the greatness of Christ. No matter where they are, whether they're from a war zone like Somalia or Syria, or whether they're your neighbor or whoever your classmate, okay? May we live in accordance and will of Jesus Christ. Okay, in a nutshell, we can forgo any trial, overcome any challenge, survive any wreckage, break any barrier, dance even in the hardest of conditions, and do the impossible through Jesus Christ, for He is the master of all in course. Thank you.